What's up? It's Echo Disrupting, we're vibing tonight. Trending topics in the spotlight, breaking down what's right. With smooth grooves and R&B, feel we bring the heat. Critical thought for everyday life, we're keeping it real.
Welcome back to Echo Disrupted. We are at episode 9. This one is going to be a little mashup of topics, a little aftermath, a little FAFO,
Yeah,
all the things.
yeah. They're all the happenings and stuff since the election and since the first 48. We've had some time to digest, sit and relax and
Watch
gather
Crush
our
Groove.
thoughts. Say again?
Watch Crush Groove.
Yeah. Watch Crush. Yeah.
All the old references.
Listen, I'm gonna get corny for you. I'm about to watch. I'm looking forward to Thanksgiving so I can watch March of the Wooden Soldiers with Laurel and Hardy. But that's
Oh, wow.
that's another conversation for another day. I'm channeling my inner white dude. Channeling my inner white dude.
I was thinking, like, what we got for Thanksgiving?
Now this goes back to my childhood. But another topic for another day. Always great to sit and chat. We've had some time to for our powder to dry and to gather our thoughts and get back into the swing of things. So very excited to get back with you.
Yeah, definitely. From the DNC, the whole aftermath of 7 Trump.
Yeah, as that continues to sink in.
Oh,
What are your thoughts on all the infighting and all the finger pointing, the James Carvilles, the David Axelrods, and the like? I would love to hear what you think.
Yeah, so James Carville needs to have a seat, several seats,
And never get up again.
and right, just stay down. But I know he had different takes, and I gotta say, Roland Martin, I guess, went in on him, and I do agree with, if you have all of this knowledge and you're at this point of spinning around, pointing fingers, and not accepting that you were not correct in your assessment, why not focus your efforts in your home area, Louisiana? I believe that's where he's from, and work down there, because there's a lot going on. Gary Chambers is out here working, doing yeoman's work, not that
by himself.
And if you're so inclined and so caring about this Democratic Party and what the democracy looks like and where it's going, why not get down in the grassroots of that and leave some of this other discussion points alone? As far as David Axelrod, I think that there is a interesting turn of, when I see someone that was in political office, be it Jen Psaki, Nicole Wallace's, all these folks that were in some sort of political space in a cabinet or whatever their station was, then all of a sudden I see them on TV. And not to say you can't have a career, but I just automatically get turned off for some reason. It's just an automatic turn off to me. So David Axelrod, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't even listen to not a word that man had to say.
If you heard Carville speak, you heard the same thing. So
okay. So I think everyone is trying to have a hot take off of what happened, pointing fingers at Kamala's campaign should have done X, Y, and Z. But if you folks knew all these damn answers before, then why weren't you saying them? And then if there's some sort of infighting or whatever the case is, then are you going to either A, call it out, because you're not working for them anymore, right? You're collecting check for being a commentator or hosting your own show, short-lived, they spin off MSNBC. But why are you beholden then? Who are you beholden to that you will not call these people out if you said something and they didn't acknowledge it? I know Andrew Yang has been out here talking. There's been quite a few people.
I actually haven't heard him.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Andrew Yang has been out here. He had offered some takes to the Harris campaign. I don't know who, he didn't say, and I didn't catch who specifically did not take some of his suggestions, so to speak. I think him coming from the UBI, Universal Basic Income pilot he ran in California, I think he probably was a little bit more ground level to some of the conversations and feelings that were taking place. So all of that to say, everyone has a hot take. All of those people that are up on all of the main news channels had all these things to say. If you had so much knowledge and you did not say something, and you are not beholden to the Democratic Party in any way, shape, or form, then you're complicit in what happened. That's just my take on it. But anyway, what are your thoughts on it?
Larger umbrella, I think too much of this is viewed through the lens, and my opinion is all encompassing. In that, the one thing nobody wants to say, especially the Carvilles and the David Axelrods and the Bernie Sanders, is white people perpetually vote against their interest, and they did it again. No matter who the Democrats ran, white people were going to vote overwhelmingly for Trump. Because think about it, no matter what Kamala Harris did, and Kamala Harris ran given the time, effort, and energy, Kamala Harris ran a pretty damn good campaign. She rejuvenated the party given where it was prior to July 21st when she took over. There was excitement, the donations were there, everything lined up. The problem was America decided that they were prepared to lower the standard for what they wanted in a president. Donald Trump, and in my opinion, through the help of the media, because especially cable news, because what is cable news fate without the excitement of a Donald Trump presidency or presidential campaign? Who's tuning into anything that these guys are talking about? So for them, they're in a little bit of a catch-22 where you have to play the game and make him appear to be a viable candidate because he helps your ratings no matter what he says. So him simulating fellatio, farting on stage, dancing on stage, all of this stuff is essentially career suicide in any other circumstance. This is the dude that, because everyone benefits from him being here, you essentially normalized it. That's one aspect. The other aspect is, at the end of the day, there's certain white people that are not going to vote for a black woman. People are like, oh, this country isn't racist, they voted for Obama. Look at what it took for them to vote for Obama. White people ran the economy into the ground. George Bush ran the economy into the ground, where literally the pillars of the American economy were essentially on its last legs, and you needed somebody else to come in. Had it not been for John McCain essentially putting his foot in his mouth and saying that the pillars of the economy are doing well, he probably would have won the election, because that's when the economic collapse was happening. And I forgot what the guy's name is, but essentially they had to come in and bail these guys out. The American electorate decided that they were going to vote for a rapist, an insurrectionist, a convicted felon, a convicted fraud, Jeffrey Epstein's partner, a failed businessman. That was a conscious decision. That was not, okay, hey, this is the better candidate. Never mind the fact that he got washed in the debate. So when you're looking at all those factors and you decided to vote for him anyway, it had nothing to do with the other candidate. No matter who they ran, this is what the result was going to be. So the finger pointing, in my opinion, is essentially just a default reaction when no one knows what to do. And the question becomes, they're not reaching the working class. The 92% of black people that voted for the Democratic candidate, aren't they working class? Are we only reaching out to the products of incest in Arkansas and Appalachia? Are those the only working class that we're trying to reach? It's an even no matter how many people, all these college educated geniuses and strategists and all these other guys who say, hey, yeah, we have the answer. But the reality is, what you won't say is simply this: white people continue to vote against their interests. Now, the thing is, though, the difference is they have been joined by some others, right? They have been joined by some Latinos who are about to get up out of here, right? Right, who are about to find out, who effed around and about to find out, right? They've also had some help for some black dudes. 22% of black dudes that voted for him, they're also about to find out, right, what the deal is. But if you look at it, because of the impact of not holding Donald Trump to the same standard as any other candidate, you now unleashed the most incompetent administration, and that's outdoing his last time around. The most incompetent administration of the American presidency's history, and we don't know what happens afterwards.
Yeah, I think it was interesting. I was looking up a notice of this article the Washington Post posted. This is November 21st. It's a column by Philip Bump, and he's reporting lots of Republicans suddenly think the economy wasn't that bad after all.
Mm, mm.
A polling from YouGov shows a sharp shift in Republican opinions over the past month.
Wow.
So I think as we navigate through all of the what happened, why Kamala lost, if you fall onto the side of, hey, she's a black woman and her running and all of these other nitpicky things that they have to say about the campaign, it's just, to me, we're going to start to see the truth come out that still leaves that as the standing mark.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. Sorry for getting to the end without having to go through all the rigmarole. It's just keeping it plain. It's
right. Was it the eggs and the gas and all those other things, right?
So the eggs and the gas, and by the way, the reason why the eggs and the gas cost as much as they do is because of Donald Trump. Trump's oil deal that with OPEC, getting Russia and OPEC to cut and Saudi Arabia to cut production back in 2020 during COVID, which is where all of the gas prices started to explode. Which again, the ripple effect of that is what's had an impact on everything else. There's some price gouging as well. Once prices go up, how typically do they go back down? So what people are complaining about, even the current tax rate, when you tell people that we're under Trump's tax rate, no, we're not. Yes, you are. Literally, you have people who simply do not understand the most basic of basic circumstances. Like when you tell people we're still under Trump's tax plan, which expires in 2025. No, we're not. Or my favorite, right? And I've heard this a couple of times where people say, yeah, I voted for Trump to get rid of Obamacare. I just want them to leave the American Care Act alone. They're one and the same. No, they're not. Like so again, the electorate has been so conditioned and the overall public has been so stupefied. And again, I lay this at the feet of the media. You guys, self-serving, of course, right? You guys you need people not to cut the cable cords as long as you can because you need jobs. I get it. Having said that, look at what you unleashed.
No, exactly. What do you think as we are transitioning out of the lame duck period and actually getting closer to the inauguration? What do you think of Trump's cabinet picks so far?
Don't ask me. Ask the people in Dearborn, Michigan, who are about to watch Gaza become beachfront property and co-ops and shopping malls.
Yeah,
with Mike Huckabee saying, hey, I don't even know what Palestine is. They know what's that. He says literally Israel has the same rights to Gaza as New York has to Manhattan. Y'all in trouble. Matt Gaetz just ran up out of there because whatever circumstances.
He knew that was coming out. He knew it was a wrap when the Democratic, oh gosh, I think her last name is Wild. She came out, she was like,
Yeah.
She was like, nope, we did not make a unanimous decision on this. We still have things we need to do. And I think once she said that night, I was like, oh, this guy is going to be out of here.
No, he's out of there. But here's the thing, though. Cool. That is what it is. The question becomes, though, what does it say about the president who is just basically willy-nilly throwing anybody into these positions, qualified or not qualified, checkered past or not checkered past, right? This is one of my cousins and I have been having this conversation for years about the empire of the United States falling. And we both agreed that it was. And him and I started talking about this about 2 years ago. And we said, how fast is it falling? We couldn't tell. Now we've agreed that we're in free fall at this point because American citizens don't care about the people that they're putting in place. So if you listen to some of the people who've talked about, and we could get into this a little later on, but the people who the qualifiers for a lot of the folks who voted for Trump was he's a real person. He kept it real. They don't know what presidents do, and therefore don't necessarily have an understanding of what the criteria for being a president is. So that you vote for anybody at this point, right? It's just being true to yourself. Shoot, Lenny Kravitz might run in a couple years. Who knows, right? But hey, shout out to Lenny Kravitz.
And the leather pants.
But I'd love to get your thoughts on the cabinet picks.
Honestly, I think it's taken up a lot of the air. Not to say that we shouldn't be concerned or aware, but it just feels like there's just so much dust and tumbleweeds around each and every nominee, so to speak, that from the, what's her name, Linda McMahon,
Yeah.
he has a whole litany. Like, everybody has issues. By the time he named someone, and there's a thought process I've heard banted around on socials that he just like throwing up the worst of the worst to see what people will say. Matt Gaetz, the other Fox News person, Hexit, people that everyone is, you can't possibly be for real. So that then you slip someone else in that is one notch lower in terms of being a horrible candidate for a nominee. But because the other person was so bad, you just thought, well, it's not Matt Gaetz. But honestly, I'm exhausted. I want to know what's going on with the candidate, but I don't necessarily want to get stuck, so to speak.
Listen, we got a lot of practice, right? We did this before in terms of running through his presidency, but even if you look at the economic forecast, everybody's bracing for this dude to be a screwball again. The mortgage rates are starting to increase. The market reaction, everybody goes, oh yeah, he came in, he's going to come in here and our stock portfolios are going to soar, our 401ks are going to soar. No, they ain't. It's the reaction, right? It's the market. There will be market volatility. There's a gentleman who was speaking last week, and I forgot what his name is. He says, a lot of you guys are really excited about what's going on over here. And he says, what you don't understand is this is a wealth transfer from you guys to me. He says, from you younger people or you guys who are just getting into the market. He says, that's a wealth transfer. He says, but you'll never be in this position where somebody else will be transferring their wealth to you. He says, so I will do well, but the people behind me won't. You look at what they're looking to do with Social Security. You look at what they're looking to do with healthcare, with SNAP, with food stamps, with public schools. There's going to be a lot of pain. These guys want to, especially
Professor
with
G. That's who it was.
Who?
Professor G.
Yeah, you're right. The Vivek Ramaswamy and Elon Musk are looking at putting in austerity measures because they want to fund these tax cuts. And they want to do that on the backs of the everyday person. So all these public services that everybody has grown accustomed to. And this is for me, which is crazy. Like all these people in middle America and all these swing states, y'all don't know what, especially you white folks, y'all don't know what survival looks like. For us black people, a lot of us, we've been through this. But some of us, this just is our day to day, right? We just make adjustments, right? Shoot, people wasn't eating fat back because they wanted to, right? But you white folks are about to find out that fat meat is indeed greasy, right? Y'all about to find out what the real deal is because you're not accustomed to making adjustments. Every time, like we've had a Black Monday when Wall Street collapses, y'all mother effers start jumping out windows, right? Because y'all don't know how to deal with adversity. So you shot yourselves in the foot. So many of these people are starting to realize what this is looking like. People looking up how to reverse my vote or what are tariffs. Oh, y'all about to find out all of that. When we were trying to warn you and trying to give you people the heads up, like, hey, yo, this is what this dude is coming with, right? He never promised you anything. You guys wanted to believe because you wanted to believe. When people, this again, I'm sorry to go back and forth. People say what Kamala Harris could have did wrong, what could have did better. What could she have done better against somebody who never said he was going to do anything? So you look at the global reaction. All of these people, all of our allies are all bracing for this dude to come in here and make a complete mess, right? So they're taking countermeasures against what they know he's going to do, right? They're going to play nice and flatter him, so on and so forth. But because essentially America's still the big bad wolf. Okay, at the end of the day, we have to be prepared for his level of volatility and impulsiveness.
Yeah.
And the markets are starting to reflect that.
Yeah, that whole Doge section, I'm curious how long that'll hold. But what's interesting is that Cenk Uygur from like TYT, the Young Turks, made some suggestion to cut the Pentagon costs. And apparently Elon Musk on X asked for suggestions and he responded back to Cenk. I haven't checked in to see where the two of them are on that, if they really connected or not. But I'm just curious as to, okay, Cenk has some thoughts on the Pentagon, but what other random thoughts may come up from any person that's on X. And will that be something that he follows up on? So we'll see how that Doge sector, and I think Marjorie Taylor Greene is also adjacent to that too. Fun times.
It's gonna be interesting. And speaking of Elon and his impact, Elon's going to be, him and Donald Trump are essentially going to be controlling the airwaves through Twitter, through Donald Trump's
Truth Social,
Truth Social, and what have you. And one of the things that I picked up this week, one of the things I heard this week, is 40% of young people get their news through influencers, and most of these influencers are all right leaning. So this is going to be an interesting set of circumstances because people don't read, and people aren't informed, and people don't have fundamental base knowledge. So we're going to be in for some interesting times. And what you want to do is stay away from these dumbasses who want to engage in conversations with you about politics, who absolutely know nothing about it, and view the Dems versus the Republicans like it's freaking the Eagles against the Giants, and talk about who won and who got whipped and what have you. It's like, yo, bro, you lost. Whether you understand it or not, you lost, because Elon got $15 billion richer after the election. How did that affect you?
Yeah, and that's what's so crazy is that he's now over the government agencies that he has contracts. What did they used to say? The fox guarding the hen house or something?
He is going to be the fox guarding the hen house. He has oversight. He will have oversight over the oversight committees that would regulate him.
And that's the reason why he didn't want a cabinet position, because if he did, then he would have to get rid of all of his businesses and conflicts of interest. So that's why he wanted to hang out in the periphery, so to speak. So anyway,
Dr. Greg Carr said this is about to be the biggest grift. You're about to see the biggest gangsterism ever known. And listen, America got the president it deserved.
What do you think? Are you seeing any increase in violence or associated with the election?
Yeah, you saw what happened in Ohio. There was a march. There was a march in Ohio of some white dudes. There was also in Connecticut on the day of the, I think it was in Connecticut, some kids came to school waving the Trump flag. So there's that. They're emboldened, right? The folks are emboldened. What happened? So the dudes in Ohio, from my understanding, there were some brothers that got out there and regulated. Typically, they're going to run through those neighborhoods until they run into opposition, and all of a sudden they change everything. The one thing I will tell you though, we're not, if it stays at that level, it's gonna be what it's gonna be. But them militia folks are serious. Them dudes are serious about their guns, and they're a lot more prepared than a lot of us are. Not all of us. There's some of us who are prepared, but these dudes eat, sleep, and drink that stuff. And I don't.
2A is real. That 2A is
real. So, there are some folks who are going to run into some issues, who are emboldened. The police are probably going to start on January 21st. I'm assuming there's going to be a lot of police feeling themselves as well. But yeah, there has been a victory lap of the ignorant, right? Where everybody's, and again, there's some black people walking around here. So, pardon me, I got to get one of these in here. There's some dumb niggas out here for real, right? Some real dumb niggas out here. Like, yo, bro, you ain't rich. You are going to feel this. And I'm not going to lie to you. I hope I get to see it. I don't need a front row seat, but I do need to see it when you catching it out there, because you guys don't know. You think this is a game, and it's not a game. This is serious. There's long-lasting implications. And the Johnny-come-lately politically aware guy, I'm not even calling the brother, the African guy who was saying, the black young kid who was saying, oh, they just told me they needed me for my vote. I can't believe that MAGA would do that. I would have loved for him to be the black guy that had shown up at that MAGA rally that got hemmed up by all them people. Because those are the guys who do not understand what this is. They think this is, I guess they would equate this with their version of BLM. Yeah, it's the opposite, buddy. You thought it was one way, but you're about to find out it's another way. I was going to ask you, from a buyer's remorse standpoint, what are you seeing?
I just see the clips that come out, and they're from different areas. It's uncommitted because of Gaza, reaching out to Trump, reaching out to now Biden.
They ain't reaching out to Trump. They're reaching out to Biden, asking Biden.
Yeah, their first allegiance was to Trump, but they're now really at the door of Biden. I think there's so many different aspects to people that have different feelings about it, starting to see things now.
I would love to see Biden on his way out put both middle fingers up at those people. But continue.
I just want to see if he's gonna pardon.
I think he should.
He might
I
as
think he
well,
should.
because what are you doing at this point? You gonna leave him up to Trump's people? But
I'm pardoning everybody. Listen, who else need a pardon out here, y'all?
all the rappers are gonna.
Like, no, Diddy got to stay where he at.
I don't know. I think that dude's gonna get out next week.
I think so too.
Bail too. Yeah.
I think so too.
But yeah, we'll continue a pop culture mashup as a 9 dot. What do we want to call it?
We could call that 9.5.
9.5, yeah. So definitely was good to catch up on the post-election. What do we even want to say? Debacle?
Yeah.
the FAFO.
Yeah, the FAFO, the FAFO party. They done effed around and they're about to find out.
Exactly. But always good to catch up and talk to you, get your opinion.
Same here. Same here. Always a pleasure.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll be back with 9.5.
9.5.
All right. That'll be the mashup on pop culture. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next episode.
What's up? It's disrupting, we're vibing tonight. Trending topics in the spotlight, breaking down what's right. With smooth grooves and R&B, feel we bring the heat. Critical thought for everyday life, we're keeping it real.